different from the values of the people who are across our borders. So when another group decides that these are our values, any other person who does not see these things as their own values too are a primitive people. I have a problem. I also have a problem where people decide to read religious undertones and underpinnings into almost everything. It is your right to practice your religion. It is my right to also practice my religion. At a point, we will differ. Where we differ does not mean we should pull guns at each other. Where we differ does not mean we should bomb each other. My brother, my sister, if America wants to deal with the gay issue, have people who are gays and lesbians and be appreciated, that's up to America. But when you read human rights meanings into this, in fact, what pertains to human rights in Ghana might not be pertaining to human rights in America. Let's be careful. Human rights in Ghana is different totally from human rights in America. Yes, we might have some intersections, points where we all meet, but we also have points where we all depart, even though we are talking about human rights. I'll give you an example. In Ghana, generally, we are a polygamous people. Polygamy is not frowned on in Ghana. In America, it is a very, very, very much frowned upon thing. My brother, my sister, can you go to America and say you have 20 wives? They will look for you and put you in the zoo, or better still, take you to the museum, because you are more than just primitive. My brother, my sister, we have other things in this country that may pertain to human rights, what we call our rights. For instance, in some ethnic groups in Ghana, a man can marry his own wife's sister. Listen, in some ethnic groups, especially in the north and some parts of the Volta, a man can marry his wife's sister. In the West, this is what? Incest. True or false? You will go to jail. The whole America, the whole England will come out to look at which accursed animal married a woman and her sister. In our country, it's accepted. In some areas, it's not seen as incest. So whilst you see it as a human rights issue, whilst you see it as a cultural issue, in a lot of countries in the West, it is abhorred. It is abysmal. I have people calling me, so what is your stand on the gay issue? And I tell them, I have told you my stand from when Nkrumah was not even born. It's not something I want to listen to. But again, those countries that agree with those and see them as their human rights thing, I am not surprised, because in my country too, I have things that we uphold as human rights issues. And in those areas, they uphold those. My problem lies in when one country wants to force its virtues on another. Listen, in my country, men generally are supposed to be taking care of women. In the African community, there is no home where a woman is supposed to be the head unless the man has decided to relinquish that. That is not the African culture. In every home in Africa, right from Togo all the way through to Zimbabwe, my brother, my sister, Every African home has the man as the head. Can you say this in America? Feminists will rise and eat you raw. Can you say this in England? We all are equal. And they will read feminism and chauvinism and all the isms and schisms into this. Some time ago, I will get up looking for gays to visit with torture. Some time ago, Blakk Rasta, anytime I heard there was a gay hiding somewhere, he will become my punching bag. But today I've become wiser. I won't do that. Some time ago, they will say, oh, this is a gay. And because he lived in this area, I might not even go there at all, in order that my holiness, in quotes, will not be polluted. But today, I have become wiser. Because all the so-called religions that we hold on to, that continue to make us holier than thou, all their proponents and all their prophets preached coexistence and tolerance. I'll give you examples. Let me start with Christianity. I've said this time and again, but I'll say it again and again until people understand this. When Jesus Christ came, read it from the New Testament, my brother, my sister, and people were saying he was eating with who? Tax collectors and all those people. What did he tell them? He told them, I am like the doctor. I came for the sick, not for the healthy. Did he say it or not? Who are the sick? Those people who do not agree with our faith. We literally refer to them as the sick, or better still, metaphorically refer to them as the sick, right? Instead of beating the hell out of them, instead of cutting off their heads because they don't believe in what we believe in, we rather get closer to them so they can see themselves into the mirror, in the mirror of our lives. This is too deep for somebody. I have lived in the north, in homes where people would not even go to the next house because this is a Muslim house and this is a Christian house. Where Muslims and Christians will meet and will not even greet. So your God, has he become an altar of confusion or an altar of unity? Yet when Christ came, he was looking for the sinner. You want to convert the sinner, yet you don't want to greet him. You don't want to shake hands with him. You don't want to even accept him. You want to be able to bring gays into Christianity. You want to be able to bring gays into Islam, yet you are chasing them out and trying to slaughter them. How do you convert them? You are not showing the so-called sick love. Let's think. Let's think. In this country, you can easily be hated because you have given a little bit of sentimental care for people who are not supposed, in quotes, to be loved. How many times haven't we heard that, oh, I used to be a gay, but with time, God changed me. Right now I'm a priest. If you had killed him, how could he be a priest? We have seen thieves, my brother, my sister, who have become men and women of God. Prostitutes who have become men and women of God because people had sense to bring them closer so they will be able to impart to them new values. Islam believes that when you catch a thief, cut off his left hand. Islam believes if the same man whose left hand you have cut off steals again and you catch him, cut off his right hand so he will go without arms. And let's see whether he will steal with his leg or he will steal with his head. That's what Islam says. So right now, if there's a bill in parliament, hey, all the thieves that we arrest right now, they won't go to in Sawam. We cut off their hand. Muslims will be jubilating. Yeah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. And Christians will be crying because that is not their faith. You see tolerance and coexistence, if you are not careful, you will go overboard. We went overboard some time ago because of our beliefs, religious beliefs, and so-called holier than thou spiritual underpinnings. Today we make that mistake. Ghana generally is a country that does not appreciate homosexuality. So when you want to go to Ghana, make sure that nobody sees any of these things that you do. But even with that, remember that you are endangering yourself, because if anybody gets to see, you might not like it. In Saudi Arabia, they have different human rights issues. That is why Saudi Arabia and the West continue to fight night and day, because they have different things that they believe these are human rights. Whilst in Saudi Arabia you can have 4 wives, in America, no, it's not a human rights issue to even discuss. In Saudi Arabia, whilst a thief's left and right arms will be cut, depending on how many times they steal. In America, it's seen as primitive and barbarism. In Saudi Arabia, whilst a woman cannot show her face in public, in America, it's a human rights issue. She is a human being and she has the right to dress the way she wants. In Saudi Arabia, my brother, my sister, same way. It depends on how you carry yourself and how you do yourself. Can you go to Saudi Arabia and say you are selling pork? Can you do that? My brother, my sister, we need to open our ears and be very mindful. Let us be able to differentiate between human rights issues and then issues that hinge on tolerance and coexistence. Let's agree to disagree. But in Ghana, our religion does not agree. If they come here, they will bring us curses. But you are living with people who your religions do not agree with. Are they bringing you curses? You don't eat pork. Christians eat pork like something. Are they bringing you curses? These are some of the intolerant things we do, and Boko Haram steps in. Some people believe that once you don't belong to their faith, they should bomb you and kill you. To cut a very long story short, this is a country whose cultural space has no place for gays and lesbians. Culture evolves, maybe with time. Some people might be involved in it. And in that generation, they might see it as a human rights issue, and any man or woman can go ahead and do all these things. But for now, my brother, according to research and statistics that have been published, homosexuality, lesbianism is not an issue to discuss, let alone even say, hey. And somebody would say, oh, but there are Ghanaians who are gays. Of course, yes. We have a lot of Ghanaians who are gays. We have a lot of lesbians who are Ghanaians. But the cultural space in which they find themselves is not a space that welcomes them. So what do? Luckily for them, there are so many other places where they can be appreciated. Same way, my brother, my sister, there are people in America who want to have 4 wives. But the cultural space in America will not permit it. So what do? Luckily for them, there are so many cultural spaces in the world that would accept them marrying 4 wives. So what do? They move into the areas that accommodate them. Does it make sense? So if you're gay in Ghana and you know that the cultural space does not allow it, what do? You move quietly into the space that welcomes it, or you continue to live in fear. You continue to live in that fear where, if you are caught, you might suffer. Again, finally, what is homosexuality at all? Some people say it's a mental issue. Other people say it's a hormonal imbalance. My brother, people go to the hospital to change their sexes. He's a male. He wants to be a female because in school he used to walk like a female. So now, the penis he has, he wants it taken out so that a vagina will be put in there. So he goes through a surgery. He starts taking hormonal jabs so that his hormones can be more effeminate. In other words, he would have more feminine hormones and start growing breasts, big buttocks, and then some other things. Sometimes I meet transgender in America, in England, and I don't even know. I'm speaking to a woman, but that's a man. My brother, my sister, they are taking injections to change them from men to women. So I'm tempted to believe that yes, homosexuality, lesbianism, I stand to be corrected, are more of hormonal imbalances. Because if the same hormones can change a man into a woman and a woman into a man by a surgery and thereafter hormonal injections, then in the country where you claim that you are a gay and you still want to stay in that country, then you can also go for hormonal injections so that your hormones can be balanced and you will be more of a man than the kind of thing you want to do. That's the argument. Is it hatred? Is this hatred? Some time ago, some of us would not even shake hands with gays, let alone eat with them. But today, I will do. If this is a gay, how are you? How are you doing? Respecting the fact that my life should be a mirror for some people like this to be able to appreciate and want to turn their lives around. Jesus have mercy. Some people won't understand this. That there's a thief here. He's stealing. They are not the same things, yes. Thief here who is stealing all over the place. Nobody wants to see him. Everybody is looking for him to kill. If there's an opportunity for me to get closer to this thief, talk to him and let him see the value of staying away from thievery, I think it will be better and it behoves me to do that. Some people won't agree, but the debate continues. Let's look at it better. Don't force your religion on anybody. And I hear a Catholic priest also said that, oh, when they do that, the Muslim populations would increase and very soon to be a Muslim. Well, he has come out to say that he didn't say that. It's all false ever. So what did you really say? That's the question. What did you say? There's no smoke without fire. A Catholic priest says that, oh, these gay issues that they are trying to bring into the country is supposed to reduce the population. And when they reduce and a lot of the people who are involved in these gay issues are Christians, because Muslims hate it a lot. So Muslims will continue having children, and the gayism and lesbianism will reduce the number of children for Christians, and the population of Muslims will increase more than Christians. That's foolishness. Well, he says he did not say that. Unfortunately, he did not say what he said to make CNN publish that thing. That's the problem I have with these people. When there's a backlash, then they all come back. Oh, I didn't say that. I was misquoted. And I said, so what did you say in that interview? What did you say in the interview? Let us know. We want to know. What did you say? His name is Archbishop Name. He's an old man. This man looks like 90 years. And this was published today, the 11th of October, 2021. He says, anti-gay bill. CNN comment attributed to me is false. Doesn't reflect actual content. Archbishop Name. I read. President of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Archbishop Philip Name, is dissociating himself from some claims regarding his position on other religions in the controversial anti-LGBTQ plus bill. The issue under contention was contained in a CNN publication that chronicled the disquiet surrounding the legislation of the draft. Whilst detailing the condition of LGBTQ plus persons, the international news outlet in an October 8 publication solicited the view of the Archbishop, where he communicated the church's stance on the matter. Most clergymen in the country have already expressed their resentment for the act. My brother, this is a long hogwash written there. What did the man originally tell CNN? Can we go back and listen to that? And a lot of these people, they see religion as a movement of numbers. The more people we have, the more successful our religion is. That is foolishness. How many members was Jesus himself able to get to follow him? How many? In the lifetime of Jesus Christ, how many people was he able to convert? In the lifetime of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, how many people was he able to convert? Religion shouldn't be all about numbers. It should be about quality. If it's all about numbers, then every now and then we'll read, oh, Archbishop caught having sex with a goat. That's the numbers you got. If it's about numbers, oh, Muslim Malam or Imam caught sleeping with his own daughter in a cubicle. That's the numbers you got. You have brought in people, hook, line, and sinker, without making them really understand what it is to be part of you. My brother, my sister, it might sound like a thorny issue, and I believe it is, but there is a simple way to understand some of these things. Let's all understand that each country is a sovereign country. It has its own sovereignty. You cannot leave America and come here and say, hey, because we Americans believe in this, if you don't believe in that, then you are not civilized. You are primitive. And I hear some other jerks saying that, if you pass this bill, then you are not going to get aid from the West. Listen to that argument. Aid. They are thinking about aid. What a lazy people. What happened to your gold and your diamond and your bauxite? Your president is running left, right, and center, globe-trotting, begging for aid from gays and lesbians. Why wouldn't they have the audacity to tell you that, hey, legalize it? Let us be able to kiss at your airports. Let us be able to hold hands and kiss in public, man to man, woman to woman. Let us be able to change our genders night and day as long as we want, because we are giving you pittance. I've said it time and again. I publish it on my Facebook page, my Twitter page. Until we refuse to take the pittance, we should remember that the man who feeds us controls us. With all respect to Thomas Sankara. As long as your food is in the European port, as long as your food is in the American port, you will never have your independent values. You would have American virtues and values and vices. This is too deep for some people, I know. Hey, how can you go to your boss who pays you for doing nothing and try to advise him or go against a directive he has given? Can you do that? You are lazy about doing nothing. Your boss is still paying you benevolence given to you. Then you come and tell him, boss, you said we should, the people should weed here, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think it's a wise decision. What? think about it. I leave it here. I'm going to look at another issue close to this. It's all about sex and all about that. And I want to read this. I need you to open your ears and listen with rapt attention. My brother, my sister, my God, things are happening. This one was published today, the 11th of October, 2021. And it says, NDC's Kwesi Dawood in court for allegedly impregnating daughter. I read. The case of incest has been leveled against the National Democratic Congress's Central Regional Communication Director, Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood. According to a report by the Daily Guide newspaper, the NDC executive allegedly had sex with his underage daughter, impregnating her in the process. The paper continued that Emmanuel Dawood had been having an carnal knowledge with his daughter since 2019 when she was 15 years old. He then allegedly got his friend to administer an injection to terminate the pregnancy last year. And according to the victim, she bled for more than 2 weeks, the paper reported. In the accounts of the girl, she explained how badly hurt she has been by the act. She has vowed to seek justice at all courts. It has been haunting me. He made me go for an abortion. He started having sex with me in 2019. The last time he had sex with me was in June 2021. He was NADMO coordinator and is the current NDC regional communications officer. He did not look after me. The girl is reported as saying. The paper also reported that the girl claimed that her father had beaten her up when he found out that he had reported the incestuous act to her mother, following which the case was reported to the Swedru police. My mother was not happy for me to leave and go and stay with him. He promised to send me abroad to further my education and warned that if I revealed the act to anybody, he was going to end the plans to send me out for my education, she is reported as having said. Producer put out the photograph of Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood there. Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood. My brother, my sister, listen to what is happening. You'll be shocked that NDC members will be supporting this guy, all because he's an NDC guy. That is how lowly our country has descended. You will be shocked that Christians will be supporting this guy just because he is in a certain church where he is an elder. You will be shocked that Muslims will be supporting this guy all because he goes to mosque with them every Friday. You will be shocked that fetish people will be supporting this guy all because he comes to their shrine with a red fowl every Friday. My brother, my sister, listen to this. It's in court. They are dealing with it. How many times haven't we heard that some people in high positions are sleeping with their own daughters? Me, myself, I had to follow up an issue where one of our friends from afar, a fire officer, that issue I have to revive it and follow it up, slept with his own daughter, drugged the daughter, fried rice and chicken, and mixed it with something. The daughter ate it and he had sex with this girl. The girl came to report to me. My brother, my sister, I reported the matter to the police. They picked up this guy, some Baba guy with fire service. I don't know if he's still with fire service or he's been sacked or still the Baba, something. How can you sleep with your own daughter? How How can you sleep with your own daughter? And this is supposed to be an NDC whatever, big week. A lot of people are going to stop this girl from talking. They will read religious undertones and cultural undertones into this stupidity. Oh, that's your father. Whatever he does to you, he's still your father. Just leave him. God will deal with him. And the idiot will continue sleeping with more daughters. My brother, do you know how much it takes for a girl like this to come out and say that this is what I've been going through? Your daughter that you have been taking care of from when this little girl was nothing. Dada, dada, coming to you. Daddy, daddy. Learning to even pronounce your name. Right from the beginning. Dada, dada, daddy. Oh, daddy, daddy. Running after you night and day. Today, that little toddler has become your sexual delicacy. You are sick. These are the people the country should be running after, not gays and lesbians. These are worse than gays. These guys are worse than transgender. They are worse than gays. They are worse than lesbians. These guys. That you look at your own daughter in the eyes, in the face, and still open her up and have sex with her. Where is that erection coming from? You are sick. These are the people who need surgery. These are the people who need hormones to be injected into their brains. These are the people who should be in the zoo. These are the people who need to be in the museum. I sympathize with this little girl. If this matter comes out to be true, and I wonder, because in our society, we have ways and means to curtail justice and let wickedness prevail. We don't have a problem with that in our churches, in our mosques. All we have a problem with is gays and lesbians. When it comes to gays and lesbians, hey, the mosque will contribute all the money it has to fight it. The church will come together, raise any amount of money to fight it. But communal labor, build a hospital in the community, no, they have no money. Build a second, hey, no money. But bring money to fight gays and lesbians. Muslims will come out in their numbers, Christians will come out, fetish people will come out with all enthusiasm and passion to fight some of them would even sell their children to get money and fight homosexuality and lesbianism. Yet animalistic behaviors like sleeping with your own daughter, that one, the imam will come and sit down and they will solve it nicely. That one, the archbishop will sit down, they will discuss it nicely and go. The fetish priest will come and slaughter a goat and some incantations that go, it's solved. You slaughtered a goat, so it's okay, go. Hey! Jesus have mercy. I leave it here. I pray that the little girl has justice, and if you are listening, please rope me in. Update me. Whatever I can do to fight to bring justice to this little girl, please get in contact with me. Let's all stand up and fight against injustice in this country. I'll leave it here. To God be the glory. I have just a few more minutes, but I'm going to deal with this issue. This was published on the 9th of October, 2021. And this one is coming from my own senior hallmate, Hackman Uswajimai. Hackman. He went to UST. In fact, several tens of years later, I also went there. So that's my senior colleague. He says, some of us cannot be excited talking about dictatorial Nkrumah. Some of us cannot be excited talking about dictatorial Nkrumah. This is attributed to Hackman, who is 79 years. In no time, he will be 80. In fact, he's older than the president. Let's go. A leading member of the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, Hackman Owusu Agyeman, has recounted some of his ordeals as a student leader in Ghana during the era of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. According to him, some experiences he and his colleagues were made to go through explain why he is not so enthused or excited when many sing the praises of Nkrumah. Speaking on Footprints on City TV, Mr. Owusu Agyeman said Kwame Nkrumah caused the arrest of him and some of his colleagues over their protest against the former's authoritarian rule. He said, as executives of the Ghana Union of National Union of Ghana Students, NUCS, they were hounded and detained on Nkrumah's instructions. We, the students, got up and said, no, this is not right. And then they started arresting us, he said. The chairman of the NPP's Council of Elders said he was forced to take over as the NUCS Secretary General after his colleagues were arrested and sent to the Nsawam prisons. He explained that he was forced to go into hiding following an order to arrest him. I took over as Secretary General of NUCS, and in the night we would drive from Kumasi to Cape Coast. Eventually, they issued a preventive detention order against me to be arrested and sent to Nsawam prisons. I ran off and was sleeping on the farm. He said he was fortunate to have been detained at the Aja police station, unlike his colleagues, and thanks to the then Vice Chancellor of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, NUST, Dr. R.P. Bafo, who was released earlier than his colleagues. Eventually, I was arrested after about 4 days. They took me to Aja police station instead of being put on the train and sent to Nsawam. Afterwards, he, Dr. R.P. Bafo, got me out. This is why some of us cannot overly be excited when we talk about Nkrumah, he remarked. Now, the part that, if I don't share with you, would be very sad is this. He's saying that a lot of his colleagues could not come and continue with schooling. Some of them came with some mental issues. And this is what he said. They gave them injections and it distorted them. They were tortured. He stated, adding that despite the many applause Kwame Nkrumah receives for things he did in the country whilst a head of state, there are many unpleasant actions he took that many will be amazed should all those accounts be given. When you read further, well, I read that part. He said, per accounts, there were Romanians in the prison whose duties included administering different injections to the detainees. And he is certain that this affected some of his colleagues. So this is Hackman Owusu Agyeman. He is part of the NPP Elders Council. In other words, those elders who are supposed to give advice to the president. Remember, the president has his own special advisor, and that is Osafo Mafo. Now, these are the old men who have come together under the NPP Elders Council to advise the president. And all he's saying is that he cannot be enthused about Nkrumah because Nkrumah got him arrested, and some students in the Preventive Detention Act. Listen, Preventive Detention Act. I need to pronounce it over and over so some common sense will get into some people's heads. Preventive Detention Act. Some people say, what is it? Prevention. No, Preventive Detention Act. What it simply means is that to prevent the untoward from happening. My brother, Hackman Owusu Agyemang finished Augustine's secondary school in 1965. He would have to wait and get to the university in 1966, the year Nkrumah was overthrown. My brother, my sister, some Ghanaians have no sense. A lot of Ghanaians, a lot of elders are fools. Listen to what this guy is saying. Nkrumah arrested you. You were caught in a crossfire. And because of that, when you were hit by a stray bullet, you hate everybody. Let me make the point. Why was the Preventive Detention Act necessary? A man who was bombed 9 times. Kwame Nkrumah never died. How many of you have heard that song? He was bombed 9 different times on 9 different occasions. The only president in the world, not even in modern times, to have survived 9 different bombings. Bombs flying left, right, and center. These guys became specialist Al-Qaeda bomb-making crew. Akunwa J, Edward Akufo-Addo, Pa Willie, and all those people coming together in a mafia to make bombs and kill Nkrumah. Sometimes his own ministers of state, like Akunwa J, join hands with the enemies, and Nkrumah picked all of them up and started jailing them in what was known as the Preventive Detention Act. If you were the one who had suffered 1 bomb assassination attack, 2 bomb assassination attacks, 3rd one, 4th one, 5th one, would you sit back and wait until the insect bites you before you go like, pa? As the insect is coming, you catch it up already. Nkrumah put the police in charge. Nkrumah put the army in charge to be able to use intelligence and fish out whoever was trying to assassinate him, and it was his right. That was the importance of the Preventive Detention Act. Nkrumah was going after his supposed enemies. My brother, my sister, Hackman said that they were fighting his dictatorial nature. What was it? One-party state? Before one-party state, the bombs were already flying in the face of Nkrumah. So was it one-party state? My brother, my sister, the year Kwame Nkrumah built the Akosombo Dam, the following year they overthrew him. So it was not about competence. My brother, that is why up till this date, not one president in this country can be matched to the prowess, the power of Kwame Nkrumah. Yet, all these guys did not see anything attractive about them. You were locked up for 2 days or so, and because of that, that negates all the things Nkrumah did because of your selfish 2 days discomfort. How about Nkrumah, who was jailed on your behalf? Idiots. How about Nkrumah, who was sent all the way to Gambaga away from his family, and locked up in cages, terrorized. How about him? Do you care about the number of bombs to assassinate him? Look at the Kulungugu bomb. It exploded right in front of his face. It took a policeman to push him away, and the bomb exploded and killed people. 70 people were injured, and one person died on the spot, a little child. So he should bring you pizza. Oh, thank you, thank you. Preventive Detention Act. Students were agitating. Students were going on, how's it called, destructive demonstrations. Nkrumah said, as it is right now, hold on with these things because the country is so polarized. My brother, when coronavirus even came, they stopped demonstrations, let alone a man's life, assassination 9 times. To God be the glory. My time is up. I appreciate you. I love you. This conversation is going to continue. Nkrumah never dies. No matter what Nana Akufo-Addo does, Nkrumah was better than Edward Akufo-Addo. He was far better than J.B. Dankwa, far better than Akwanje and all of them. You can't change history. To God be the glory. Nkrumah never really died. The founding father